I want to tell you the truth, especially you people that are looking at the looks of Windows 11. It is vulnerable times a number. Like, I want to tell you, Windows 10 actually is even better at some point. I never put a password and you think you are stuck. You get what I'm trying to say? Otherwise, these codes can easily be accessed, they can easily be, like someone will use them and they do whatever they want to. But anyway, I think she can continue, but what I wanted to emphasize is that performing any random attack, any random, should I say, trying to continue with handling the posts, it starts with identifying the host that you're going to work along with. In case it is maybe a website, you're going to realize that you're going to, first of all, go to the terminal, I think even Windows can, then you do what? You put that, like, you can just put the website, and then you first enter any random website. It is supposed to return its what? Its IP address. And when returning that IP address, just put Amazon.com. But it's supposed to return the IP address, and when returning that IP address, that is where you're going to start doing what? That's why you're going to start performing, like, whatever the attacks you want to do, maybe check out on the ports and all that. But then, what she had instantiated at first is the very gadget that she's using. So it's like testing your own vulnerability, which may, okay, you as someone who is intending to make an attack, you can't attack yourself. I don't know if it makes sense. Yeah, that is it.
Yes, at least now you know the basics. When you're running an Nmap scan, the basic is Nmap as a command followed by your target host, which is supposed to be in your network. For example, you can't do www.amazon.com if you're not connected to the internet. The same way you can't attack your friend's phone if you're not connected to them personally. If they're not connected to your network. Now, like everyone who's connected to Amazon, you're in the same network. Means everyone who's connected to Eduro, you're on the same network. Meaning that if I your computer's operating system as Winenda, I'll be like, that's the one. However, it will be hard for me to know. I'll just be seeing maybe if I take the operating system and I try to think maybe the other person has a Lenovo and this maybe MAC address is for Lenovo, and then I try that, but I can't know. So this is taking really low. I wanted to show you, I wanted to try scanning. In your free time, you go to UPDF and scan their website. And you see, do not go beyond scanning. Scanning is allowed. Don't go beyond scanning.
You are not. So you know what that is doing? You know pinging is like sending a packet request. But you know why it is also not progressing, and I doubt it will ever progress. It is because the firewall is trying to do what? To stop it. That is why I would rather only cancel it. It will. Okay, let's fix that.
So you see how now we scanned the other one. It took long, but these are the results it brought. The port 80 and port 443 is open. So that's some of the things I was telling you. It cannot be vulnerable because Amazon can't have vulnerable sources. You get it? So 80 does HTTP, which is the more, you know what HTTP is? You know what it is? It's a protocol for what? Very good. Now HTTPS is the secure, the encrypted version of. So that is what the Amazon scan brought. I really wish we could go on to Kali.
Yeah, so you can see if I told you to ping it, pinging is sending packets, asking, are you there? Like, are we connected? And here you can see you can see the responses. So defaultly, if at all you don't specify the number of packets you're sending or the size of the packet, I think it sends 5. I'm not sure, but I think 5. 4? Yeah, 4. And you can see the responses. Reply from that IP address, so it is there. And the IP address is there.
Their public IP is what?
This. So that's their IP address that you can utilize. And I think we get classmates. Yeah, we are not allowed, but we try.
We are not allowed to go beyond that. Anyway, are there any questions so far? If you're tired, also let me know so we can stop there. Are there any questions so far? Okay. What's beyond scanning? Yeah, he's asking what's beyond scanning. Okay. I want to close this. I want to close my command line and go into ZenMap. If you have now ZenMap like we talked about, it's like a command line interface. So you just put your address, your IP address there, which was 192, and then what told me? 1. Yeah? So you can put your can you see? But you can do that and then scan, and then you will also do the same thing. Are you seeing that? You start the scan and then bring for you the same results. Are you seeing this? The same open ports that you found the other side are also here. And for it, it gives you bubbles. Do you know what bubbles is? Bubbles is as the code is running, you see what it's running. So it gives you a screen. And it's, if you look closely, if you look here, I see this is the code that has run. I see, I don't know, I really wish you guys would do this. Anyway, let me tell you what is there. If you see that place I've highlighted, it's showing nmap dash T4, then dash A, then dash V. Now that V stands for bubbles. That as your command is running, it shows you as it's running. And it's not waiting for the code to first finish and then show you the executed program. So that's what you can do if you want to see it running. I'll also explain the other things. The T4 is for time. Yeah. When you specify and say T4, it's most times an aggressive scan that tries to finish very fast. And if you're scanning a very high profile company or network, you need to avoid using T4 because it creates a lot of, like, it's very easily identifiable if someone is observing their network. So that's the T4. It ranges from T0 to T5. If you use T0, it is very slow, but it is harder to detect. But if you use T4 or T5, it's very fast but easier to detect. And then A is what we call an aggressive scan. So it brings for you more than just the open host. It brings for you the open port, the state of that port, and its services, including its version. Maybe you can't see it, but that is also what it brings that also. And sometimes it also brings for you an address of that device that is scanning. Anyway, let's now go into what else you can do apart from scanning. Using Linux. So here I can't do it. I'm going to open my virtual machine. So that's mine, right? That's what it looks like. I want to first explain something. As a cybersecurity analyst, when you're learning, you cannot use people's networks to learn your things. Do not use people's networks to learn your things. So this is something I set up that is called a lab. What a lab is, it gives you sort of an environment to play with. That you have your host machine, your devices that are vulnerable that you can attack and see where your skills are headed, and stuff like that. So here I have my tally machine, and I also have my data selectable that we are going to then hold on.
Yeah, good afternoon, colleagues. Thank you so much for the opportunity you've granted us. Yeah, just 2 minutes from your time. Yeah, I'm Henry Kajimu. I'm in my year 3 doing science, technology, biology.
So, I really wish you guys could see this. Again, try. One thing with Metasploitable is you can't use a mouse. You can't use a mouse, like these things are moving your hand on the screen. You can't use Metasploitable. So here is my Metasploitable. I'm going to try a clean thing that you can go the other side mechanically and try to run this command. So that you can see what you can get. Now, the other side we used ipconfig in Windows. In Windows we used ipconfig, right? If someone is asking what is Metasploitable, is that what you're asking? Metasploitable is
It's an environment that was created mainly for trials. So it has a lot of vulnerabilities. It has very many folks that are vulnerable. But if you launch it, you realize that it will expose your device to a number of vulnerabilities. So someone else that is trying to, that is not on the same network, can be in position to access very many ports, but it's used just for tests. It's not a big deal. It's like operating systems, just terminal based like that, but for tests.
there. So now I've tried to run a scan for this device to find out what its IP address is. IF config, no space. You can write it down so that you can try it in the future. IF config. Different from Windows IF. On this one, you see, we have been given 192.168.40.25. But 130. Anyway, the reason why I was shocked is because usually the last address of the network, the 255, is reserved for broadcast. So there is no host that can have the 255. That's true. That means here we have .40.3.13. Any questions? Now that we have the IP address from this machine, let's go to our Kali machine and try and see what the IP address website is so we can see if they're in the same network. Now this one, the other we had 1.130. This one we're in the same network, but our host is at 128. So that is it. Can you guys see? I really wish you guys were seeing. That is it. Explain. Can you see? Can you believe me? Can you believe that is what is on the screen? So anyway, when we scan the other network, they're on the same network. If you scan my machine, you won't find it because I have set it specifically to only show me what is in my lab and not what is outside my what? My virtual machine. Okay? Now, another command I want to show you. The capabilities of Nmap are not limited to scanning open and closed ports. It can do very, very many things. And it can change the capability of your scan. Like you can scan and get on the TCP ports. You can scan